What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about silver and also a little bit of gold. More specifically, I wanted to talk about why my family will not stack the silver and the gold. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club for giveaways, live streams, deal alerts, and a whole lot more. I'm actually going live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come hang out. And of course, go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. You can deposit as little as a penny and it still works. If you refer one friend by the 18th, they're going to give you 10 free random stocks. And if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you 1 to 15 free shares of Apple, each worth $170. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. The current spot price of silver as I'm filming the video is $24.45. It's up 16 cents today, or up 0.66%. A nice green day for silver so far. Spot price of gold is $19.2840. It's up $5.20, or up 0.27%. A fairly decent green day for the beautiful yellow metal as well. And of course, the gold to silver ratio is in the 78 to 79 to 1 range. But of course, that's as I'm filming the video at like 9:30 in the morning, not as I'm editing, posting, or as you're watching. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. So today, I wanted to talk about a couple of different things related to why my family is not stacking silver or gold. And as you can see on display right here, we only have some silver, have a little bit of gold on the side right here. We have some sunshine bars, 5 and 10 ounce. We have some eagles, maples, kangaroos, creatures of the north, queen's beasts, the bull bar, a Westminster bar, and a 5 ounce Aztec calendar round. But what I wanted to talk about today is why my family's not stacking silver. How have I gone the last going on 4.5 years of stacking silver and gold while introducing it to certain family members of mine, early on that is, and they're still not stacking silver and gold with me? How is that possible? Why is that happening? Now, first things first, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know if you've told any family member that you're stacking silver and gold. Have they decided to stack as well? Let me know. But I wanted to also point out that certain family members of mine actually have had some coins over the years. Not really for stacking purposes. I think it was more so for collecting, but none of them were ever die-hard collectors. None of them were coin fanatics in any way, shape, or form. There are 3 examples I'd like to point out, and then I'm going to get into why my family in general is just not stacking, even though I told them about it and taught them about it and they chose to say no, absolutely not. So the first one I wanted to talk about would be my great aunt. Her father, so I guess that would be my great great uncle, who I never met, by the way, but apparently he was a world traveling engineer, and he went all over the place, all over Europe, all over the planet really. And I remember being at my great aunt and uncle's house, and there was this giant container full of coins. I never really thought anything of it. I thought it was just spare change. I never really paid too close attention to it. But then my great aunt ended up giving me that jar full of coins. And as it turns out, they were all foreign coins. They were all from all over the place, all different countries. In fact, I made a video that I called a stackumentary, where I think it was titled 125 coins collected from all around the world or something like that. That video was posted like 2 years ago. You're going to have to go and find it if you want to watch it. But I actually dumped out that jar and went through each and every individual coin. A majority of them, I had no idea what they even were, but I was usually able to figure out what country it was from at the very least. I don't believe many of them, or probably any of them at all, are worth anything, but it was still pretty cool. This guy, my great uncle, a world traveling engineer, collected coins from all over the planet. Not stacking, but he was still interested in coins. And then there was also my grandmother, who just recently, I think it was just last year, she opened up a safe that she hasn't opened up in a couple of decades. And there were a couple of Morgan dollars inside, as well as some pre-33 gold. I think it was a gold Indian head coin. I made a video on that as well, because I was at her house and she said, hey, what are these? Are they worth anything at all? And I was like, oh my God, you have some pretty rock solid coins right here. And I was able to take a picture of the coins and I made a video talking about that. Again, you're going to have to go and find that video if you want to watch it. But point being was that my grandmother had some really old coins as well. In fact, she believes they were given to her as a wedding gift. That was like 60 years ago. And she forgot all about them. But hey, obviously it's not stacking. But she was given some coins as a gift. I don't know who gave them to her, but whoever did probably understood the significance. And then, of course, my grandfather. This is the last example I'll give. So my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandfather had these little orange pill bottles, and there were some constitutional coins inside. Some pre-65 quarters, half dollars. I don't believe I saw any dimes in there. I remember seeing some quarters, and I definitely remember seeing quite a bit of half dollars. And according to him, he barely even remembers putting them in those change jars. But 1964 going into 1965, when we were removing silver from the coins, he remembers that apparently that was a pretty big deal. And a lot of people set their pre-65 silver coins because they thought that that might be worth something one day. Not because they were made out of silver, but because they were made out of a different metal. They didn't really know anything about the value of silver back then. They didn't set it aside because it was made out of a valuable metal. They set it aside because it was made out of a different metal. From here on out, all of a sudden something about the coin was different. Kind of like when the Type 1 Silver Eagle turned into the Type 2 Silver Eagle. People set the Type 1s aside because they're like, oh, it's a different design. Nowadays, there's something different about it. So they set aside the old coins just for that reason right there. Not even realizing that silver was going to be something of significance at some point in the future. So my grandfather had set aside some of those pre-65 coins as well. But point being is that even though I do have a couple of family members that have had at least somewhat of a very small interest in coins at one point or another throughout the course of their lives, none of them ever stacked for long-term wealth preservation purposes. And when I first got into it, late 2017 into early 2018, I remember, being that I was brand new to the silver and gold stacking world, I was pretty excited about it. Here I am, almost 4.5 years later, and I'm still excited about it. But back then, I had that rookie excitement. It was something that I was just stepping into for the first time. It was something that I had never heard of before, other than, when I was first introduced to it. It was a brand new concept. It was a brand new thing. It was like a brand new hobby. And whether it's a hobby like fishing or working on cars or painting or whatever it is that you're into, when you discover a new hobby, when you discover something that you like and it's brand new to you, it has that brand new excitement. And human nature, when we're excited about something, we want to share it with people. We want to talk to people about whatever it is that we enjoy talking about. We want to introduce it to them, hopefully get them involved. Now we have something in common. Now we could do something together, or we have something that we can talk about. So that's exactly what I did. Not to my entire family, not to everybody that I know, but just a couple of family members. And there was this one family member in particular that I introduced it to, not for selfish reasons, not because I wanted them to get involved in something that we can then be able to have conversations about it. I introduced it to this family member because I thought that it would be able to help them. This family member of mine, I actually mentioned in a video that I posted probably not even a week ago, probably just a couple of days ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I talked about how I have a family member that I'm pretty sure every family has this family member that just cannot save money, even if their life depended on it. In fact, there are a lot of people out there whose life does depend on it, and they still fail to do it. But I have this one family member who has, for whatever reason, never been able to save money. In fact, being that silver and gold are really the only real forms of money, they definitely don't know how to save money, and they definitely don't know how to save currency either. And if they don't know how to save currency, they probably don't know how to make currency. If you gave them $100 and said, hey, I'll give you a month, turn this $100 into $1,000, they wouldn't be able to do it. And guess what? They probably still wouldn't have that $100 in their possession. In fact, they probably wouldn't even bring it down to zero. They'd probably be in the negatives. You can give them a $100 bill and they'd figure out a way to get into debt. And I'm talking about the bad kind of debt, not the good kind of debt. Point being is that there are a lot of people out there who just don't understand money. They don't understand currency. They don't understand budgeting. They don't understand personal finance. They have no idea how to build credit. They have no idea how to start a business. They have no idea how to invest. They have no idea how to do anything like that. Now, one could blame the American education system because they didn't teach me a friggin' thing about any of that. You can blame family members because they didn't teach me a single thing about any of that. I learned everything that I know on my own when it comes to personal finance, that is. Although, there is one thing that I'll say. One thing that I did learn from a family member a long time ago. I remember I was probably like 8 years old sitting in the back of an F-150, and I was actually asking questions about the family member that I was just talking about. I said, hey, why does that family member keep wasting money? Why does that family member keep ending up in an even worse position every single time that they dig themselves out? Why does it keep happening? And why do they keep buying stuff? And why does this keep happening? Why does that keep happening? And had a little bit of a conversation about that, and I was told by another family member, and I remember it word for word, and it meant something to me back then, so much so that I carried it with me to present day, and I'm about to share it right now. They said these couple simple words. If you can't afford it, you do without it. And I remember being 8 years old in the back of a pickup truck being like, oh yeah, that's fair. That makes perfect sense, actually. And it bothered me because I couldn't figure out why it made sense to me as a young kid, but not to a full-grown adult human being who's been in the working world for multiple decades. Didn't make sense. But anyway, I tried to introduce this particular family member to silver and gold, more specifically gold. I thought that it would make more sense for them to focus on gold rather than silver, just because silver, it can take up a lot of space, and for a person that doesn't have a whole lot of room to work with, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes to stacking silver and gold and committing to stacking the precious metals and being in it for the long run, being in it for the long haul, there are some decisions that you need to make. Like it's almost like a lifestyle change in a way. Like you have to be really all in to be willing to go and get yourself a safe and then little by little fill it up to the top. Like that's not something that I would really recommend somebody dive right into. So I decided that it would probably make a little bit more sense for them to maybe focus on some gold instead. Reason for that is because it takes up much less room. Gold takes up almost no room at all. And the cool thing about gold, like I said, I have a thing right here. The cool thing about gold is that you can pack so much wealth, you can pack so much value into such a teeny tiny little piece. There are little 1/10 ounce gold coins, which right now with the current spot price plus a premium, this is a little more than $200. That's pretty good. A little more than $200 packed into a little piece of gold that's about the size of a fingernail. That's a lot of value packed into something this small. Or if you have a little bit more currency to work with, you can go and get yourself a 1/4 ounce gold coin like this right here. This is about $500, maybe a little more than $500. That's a lot of value. I mean, it's not very much in the grand scheme of things, but it's a lot to pack into something this small. So I thought that that would make a little bit more sense. rather than taking a couple $100, $500, and packing it into silver instead. For me, that's what makes more sense. But for somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of room, doesn't have a whole lot of space, and is very restricted when it comes to that, and maybe doesn't have a place to put a nice big safe, I thought that gold might make a little bit more sense, and it could be very easily hidden. So I introduced them to gold, or should I say the concept of gold stacking. And by the way, like I said before, this was late 2017 going into early 2018. Spot price of gold back then, I'm pretty sure was like $1,200, $1,300, maybe $1,400 an ounce. Somewhere within that range. It's been so long, I don't even remember exactly where it was, but this was like, let's just say the first quarter of 2018. Gold was incredibly cheap back then. And so was silver, by the way. Silver was about $16 an ounce, and premiums barely existed back then. So both metals were significantly less than they are today. And I remember trying to introduce this family member to gold, and for whatever reason, they just weren't really interested. And I tried to explain it in a couple of different ways. I tried to explain it to them from the perspective of preserving value. I tried to explain it to them from the perspective of it being a money-spending deterrent. I tried to explain it to them as just it being quite literally gold. Everybody knows what gold is. You might not know what spot price is. You might not know levels of purity. You might not know, 18 karat versus 14 karat. You might not know 3 nines fine, 4 nines fine. You might not understand all of that, but you know what gold is. Everyone in the world knows what gold is. Every country on the planet knows what gold is, and it's perceived as a status of wealth, no matter where you go. That's why people deck themselves out with all this gold jewelry. Is it really for wealth preservation purposes if they're walking around with a gold ring on every single finger and 16 chains on? Probably not. It's probably so that they can show off to other people, hey, look, I'm wealthy. Look at me. I'm rich. Look at me. I have money. I have this high, wealthy status. I'm important. I have value all over me. That's probably why people drip themselves out with all these gold chains and rings and earrings and all this stuff. I would assume. It's probably not everybody's reason for doing that. And if you're just wearing a little gold chain, I don't think that's what you're doing. I'm talking about the Floyd Mayweathers of the world. I'm talking about all the rappers of the world who wear all those crazy chains and 16 Rolexes and whatnot. Anyway, I tried to explain it from a couple of different points of view. And for whatever reason, this family member just wasn't seeing eye to eye with me. And I explained in a video that I posted just a couple of days ago that it seemed almost as though they were trying to not see eye to eye with me. And by that I mean, I think they did see eye to eye with me, but they didn't want to. I think they understood what I was saying, but they didn't want to understand. And something I've been saying for several years now, and I say this to everyone, by the way, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. If you don't want to get it, or if you don't want to learn, then that's fine. Not everything is for everyone. But ultimately, for whatever reason, just stacking was not for this family member. They weren't interested. They wanted no part of it. They wanted to do things their way. And if that's what works for them, which, by the way, doesn't really work for them, but hey, it is what it is. And if I get the signal that they don't want to hear what I'm talking about, or anybody doesn't want to hear what I'm talking about, I'll save the energy and I'll put it elsewhere. But I definitely gave it a shot. I definitely tried. So at the end of the day, nobody can turn around and be like, hey, you didn't teach me what I needed to know. You didn't show me what I needed to see. You didn't let me know. No, nobody can say that, because I definitely gave it a shot. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, just because anybody can stack silver and gold doesn't mean that stacking silver and gold is for everyone. It's not for everyone. In fact, it's not for most people. Now, let's be honest, most people don't even know that stacking silver and gold is an actual thing. But let's just say there was a public service announcement on TV. Let's just say they ran it on the news. Let's just say that was the new thing that everybody started talking about. That silver and gold stacking is a thing for long-term wealth preservation purposes. Now we can no longer say that nobody knows what silver and gold are, or stacking silver and gold, or the concept is. Now they do know. I'd be willing to bet that a majority of the people who do learn about the stacking concept will still reject it. I truly believe that. It's not for everyone. It's not for most people. And that's perfectly fine. There are a lot of different ways you can go. You can invest in the stock market too. That's definitely not for everyone. It's for a lot of people, but it's not for everybody. And by the way, really quick, speaking of the stock market, remember, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. You can deposit as little as a penny, and it still works, because that's what I did. You still get those 5 free stocks. If you refer one friend by April 18th, they're going to give you 10 free random stocks just for doing so. And if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you a spin on the Webull wheel, which guarantees you at least 1 free share of Apple, worth around $170, with the chance of winning all the way up to 15 free shares of Apple. It's whatever you land on. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. But point being is that you can choose the stock market. Not a lot of people do. Or a lot of people do, but most people don't, because it's not for everyone. You can go the real estate route as well. Real estate isn't for everyone. Actually, real estate is for everyone. That's probably a common misconception. Investing in real estate is not for everyone, but real estate plays a role in every single human being's life. Whether you're the owner of your house, that's real estate right there. Whether you're renting the house that you live in, that's real estate right there. Maybe you live in an apartment, that's real estate right there. Maybe you live in an RV or a van or a trailer, that's real estate right there. Maybe you're homeless and you sleep under a bridge. Guess what? That's real estate. Someone owns that property. Whether it's a person or whether it's the township or what, it's real estate. You can't escape real estate. Everywhere you go, it's real estate. So technically, yeah, real estate is for everyone. But investing in real estate, obviously not for everybody. Now, most people don't have the currency to do it, but even if they did, like I said before, I'd be willing to bet most wouldn't. If you gave every single person enough cash to go and buy a rental property, most wouldn't. Let's be fair. Digital currencies, a lot of people choose those, but they're not for everyone. So coming around full circle, when it comes to the silver, when it comes to the gold, anybody can stack, especially when it comes to silver. If you don't have a whole lot of currency, guess what? You don't need a whole lot of currency. You can go and get yourself a little 1/14 of a troy ounce silver coin for just a couple of bucks. 1/14 of a troy ounce when spot price is only about $24, $25 per troy ounce. Divide that by 14. You don't need a whole lot of cash to jump into the world of precious metals, which is why I tried to introduce it to a family member of mine. Of course, I went the gold route. I thought it would have made more sense for them, but the same thing applies for silver as well. Maybe if they had responded to me and said something along the lines of, hey, that sounds like a good idea, but I don't know if I can fork over a triple-digit amount of currency right now to go and get myself a 1/10 ounce or a 1/4 ounce gold coin. They're like, maybe I only have $20. I would have said back then, that's perfect. You can either, A, save up until you can get yourself a small piece of gold, or B, you can go with silver instead while you're waiting. In the meantime, then who knows? Maybe you could trade a little bit of that silver for the gold if that's what you choose to do. You can do whatever you want. But if they had $20 back then, they're like, hey, I got a $20 bill and that's my life savings. I could have very easily said to them, well, if you want, we can go and get you a troy ounce of silver. Because remember, this was 2018. Spot price was $16. With the premium included back then, you could have forked over $20 and still get change back. Premiums back then were only $1 or $2 over spot. That's $17 or $18 in total. You would have gotten change back by forking over a $20 bill. So if they had any level of interest, but were not able to dive into gold, I would have then introduced them to silver. If they said, hey, I can't get into gold right now, I'd love to, but I can't. I only have a little bit of cash. I would say to them, okay, well, you have enough cash to get some silver. Does that interest you? It's a different metal. It serves a different purpose. It's not the same thing just because it's a different color. Like, silver is not a different color of gold. That's not what it is. Gold is not yellow silver, and silver is not white gold. That's not what they are. They're different metals for different reasons. They're used in different ways. They have different melting points. They weigh different amounts. The density is different. They're completely different metals. Here in the stacking world, sure, we stack them both for long-term wealth preservation purposes. But if you're stacking them both at the same time, in my opinion, I think that's an excellent way of diversifying, because they're different metals. It's like playing two different games at the same time. That's at least how I see it. But I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. When it comes to stacking silver and gold, have you tried or attempted to introduce a family member to the world of stacking? Maybe it was for borderline selfish reasons because you want to get them into something that you're into and now you have something in common, something to talk about. Or maybe it was just kind of a way of trying to help them. Or maybe it was both at the same time. I think that's ultimately what we're all trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do with half the videos that I make. It's to teach people, but it's also because I enjoy talking about it. I make videos because I like talking about silver and gold, but it's also to help people. So I think just by having conversations with people or talking to family members about these things, I think we're all getting something out of it. So let me know in the comments if you've ever tried to introduce a family member to silver and gold. Did you have any success? Was it a failure? Head on down to the comments and let me know. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. We got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs in a bunch of different designs. A lot of the products are actually raising some funds and awareness for different charity organizations, by the way. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week. Remember, I'm going live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come hang out. Deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Every Saturday morning I post a brand new vlog. The one that I just posted this past Saturday was actually a really interesting one. You're going to want to go and watch that. And there are a ton of other perks as well. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. VIP Club link in the description. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. That's all you got to do. You can deposit as little as a penny, and I know that to be true because that's what I did and it still worked. 5 free random stocks just for joining. If you refer one friend to the app by April 18th, they're going to give you 10 free stocks for the referral. It's part of their advertising budget, by the way. Rather than wasting currency on billboards and TV commercials, they reward the users for helping them build their app with them. And of course, if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, Webull's going to give you a spin on the spin wheel, which guarantees you at least 1 free share of Apple, worth approximately $170 right now, with the chance of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 15 free shares of Apple. It's whatever you land on. And if you land on 15, guess what? That's over $2,600 worth of Apple stock. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway, sell them. Congratulations, now you have the cash to go and get you some silver and gold if you want. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. Don't pass up on an opportunity. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again. What are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? Have you gone about trying to introduce a family member to silver and gold? Maybe it was because you thought that it would be something that they're interested in and then you would have something to talk about. Maybe you can go on over to the coin shop and and hang out and have something in common. Maybe it was to help them. Maybe they're struggling, or maybe they don't really know what they're doing when it comes to personal finance, and you wanted to give them a little bit of assistance by introducing them to something that stands a better chance of storing value than their currency in a savings account. Did you have any success when you introduced your family, or even your friends, or your coworkers, your neighbors, whoever it is that you attempted to introduce to the precious metals? Did they end up getting started stacking? Or was it just not for them? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.